Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we have a 16 string pattern that is number 1508 over on friendshipbracelets.net. It's just two colors and it's really kind of simple as far as the knots go. If you can only do chevrons, you can still make this one. And if you don't understand that, what I'm talking about, it only uses knots to either go to the left or to the right. So that said, you get a lot out of the pattern with just those two knots because, again, with just two colors, it allows a lot of things to happen, including arrowheads and some crazy spirals. So this one, um, I kind of I don't know if I intentionally went in when making the pattern. I don't like recall like deliberately doing the pinks and purple, but like that's the colors I made it in. And totally enough contrast, totally very cool. At the end of the day, though, I think I want to try it again. I think this is going on the list of bracelets to be remade. And the reason is when we flipped it, we mirrored it. And that's kind of cool when you look at it from the side. Um, but I think we should have flipped it and then flipped it again. Um, I think it would have made it more interesting. So that is my plan is to try this again, but make the other part different. Um, I would say that as far as patterns and intensity and stuff go, it is kind of beginner. However, you might having to watch where you are in the whole thing to know when, you know, parts of it change or whatever, and watching the pattern is a bit challenging. I'm not gonna lie, that there was a lot of making sure, like, okay, is this the side that goes long, and where does this one end, and approximately how many knots is that? So there is an element of having to be very aware of the space and where you are into the pattern. Um, if you're the kind of person, if like, okay, if you have the stuff printed on paper and you check it off, or you do it on your computer, I don't know how, like, you know, um, maybe you use the program GIMP and you cross it, it'll be super easy that way. If you're just looking at the pattern like I did, because I just pulled up the same image that you'll see over on my website, if you do it that way, right? Um, it's a little bit harder to kind of make sure that you kind of know where you are. That said, I did it and no regrets there. Totally worked out and no mistakes. So it obviously it can be done. I'm just not sure if a lot of that had something to do with having had a lot of experience. So that's just my heads up. Um, String wise, everything kind of worked out fine. There was no strings that were, you know, really short or some kind of a thing where I was kind of worried about one being overused compared to the others. They're not 100% used equally, but that said, it wasn't a problem. And again, I only used knots going to the left and to the right, despite my ability to actually do the other ones. I kind of just you don't need to, you know. It's one of those that just makes it kind of simple this way. So yeah, there you go. The whole bracelet took me about an hour and 40 minutes. That's not including taking breaks or anything. That's just how much time it took actually making the knots. So this is not incredibly a long time. It didn't, it certainly didn't feel like it took a long time. Like, partially, I was kind of lost in watching some anime. So maybe that's why it took a little longer, because I kind of expected this to take about an hour and a half, but I was pretty engrossed and in my show, and yeah, it is what it is. But I would say that's not bad. I mean, hour and 40, it's 16 string. It's 8 going into the loop, which is perfect for making a kumi, by the way. Um, Mind you, I really like this one. So yeah. Um, Overall, I do like the bracelet. I really do. Despite my whole wanting to redo it, don't get me wrong. It's not a case of, oh man. It's a case of, oh, that was interesting. However, I would like to see the other way, please. That's it. And if you know me, that kind of happens a lot. You know, I look at it and I just wonder, you know, and yeah, I could probably play around with some Photoshop and be, boom, I'd have a picture and I would be like, oh yeah, that's, but I'm gonna actually make it. I'm gonna go to the trouble of actually doing it, because why wouldn't I? And then we'll have two versions in the shop, and I'll see which one you guys like based on purchasing, right? Right. Well, let's not just do likes on Instagram or whatever. Let's make some money over here. Um, yeah. So I mean, I had at one point thought that this is the last video of the year. I had thought that we would maybe go out with something grandiose and just crazy and stuff. But after the week that I put myself through with all those really amazing bracelets, it was nice to have something like this that was just a little bit easier, a little bit nicer. I enjoyed making this, to be honest. There was just something fun about the way that it came together. So, yeah, it's been a crazy year this year. This has been the year that I have produced more videos. I produced more videos this year than I think all the videos I had made from all the previous years. So, yeah, this has been crazy. It's been a crazy ride. You guys have encouraged me so much to continue this journey and keep going and make these things possible. So, yeah, let's do this. I mean, it's it's pretty awesome, I think. I really appreciate it all. We've been getting a lot of watch hours, we're getting a lot of likes and comments, and yeah, it's been very encouraging. So I'm really hoping that next year is going to be even greater. I honestly hope that I can, entertain you, show you new ideas, try new things. Um, yeah, it should be a fun one. So, again, thank you for this year. It has been awesome. I really do hope you guys are enjoying the videos, and that yeah, that you'll be with me along this journey, because I'm not giving up, man. This is this has been a lot of fun, and making the schedule go, on the daily thing. At first, I wasn't sure how that was going to work. I was just going to try it for the summer, and here we are. It's December, and yeah, still going. So yeah, it's been a ride. Um, yeah, I even have a lot of ideas for some other things that we might even do next year. So I have some thoughts on it. If you have thoughts on it, leave them in the comments. Tell me what kind of content you want to see. I was kind of thinking maybe we could try doing some bigger stuff. I just have to find ways of making that interesting for the dailies, and how to budget the time and how to work out doing stuff. Like if we're going to do bags or whatever, bigger projects, because the whole process takes so much more time. It takes so much more work. Used to be that I would make small bags and do the videos once a week. So I'm not sure how to break that all up, but that's it is a possibility of something that could come along down the road. But I want your thoughts on it. You know, if you guys want to see more of the blindside creations or whatever it is, let me know. All right. So, yeah, lots of excitement, man. I'm telling you, I'm pretty stoked. So, yeah, I guess I don't have a whole lot to say about this bracelet. I mean, segment knotting, obviously, if you haven't been paying attention, segment knotting is going really, really well on this. You can watch my video to see how I do it. Um, that went awesome. That was a lot of fun. Again, you don't have to do it exactly this way. If it's going to help you to see where you are in the pattern better by changing and maybe bringing things together, whatever, that's entirely understandable as well. So, yeah. Um, so I would say that with this right here, this row, it is the halfway point. And because these videos end abruptly, I do want to take a moment and thank my Patreon as well as my YouTube members who make this stuff possible. This year, again, so many videos, so many bracelets. Um, I couldn't do this without the support. It's just not possible. This is essentially my job. I'm, you know, waiting to and hoping to become monetized for the videos themselves, but we're not there yet. And so this little bit that everybody's been chipping in has really what's kept the channel going. So thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it. Um, I'm hope to be able to make more stuff that makes you guys want to continue on with that patronage because yeah, it's been a wonderful thing. It really does has been. So thank you guys. Man, man, end of the year. It's so man. You guys have like New Year resolution things planned? Me, not really. Um, the only thing that's really going to be different for me is this year I'm going to be using the Hobonichi planner, and I'm really excited about using that. I just used blank journals before. So yeah, it's kind of a more little bit different way of organizing things. So I'm really kind of stoked about that thing. Um, and my hope is to continue like make a whole year of the daily videos. When I say daily, it's the weekdays. Obviously, the Saturday I'm doing the live streams, and then Sundays are members live streams, but regular videos weekdays. I'm hoping to do that for the entire year. If I do, it'll make it the most productive year I've ever had on YouTube. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty ambitious, pretty crazy. But I'm kind of excited about the prospects. I'm kind of excited about what kind of things that I can bring to the table and show you guys. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's definitely gonna be fun. I've already got some things worked out. Those will be a surprise. And like I said, I'm trying some ideas in my head. I super analytical. I try to think it out. If I do it this way, what will happen? Will I, like I said, like if I try to do something like a big project, like a bag or something, um, I need to work out how many hours do I spend on it a day? Do we speed it up? Do we not speed it up? You know, yeah, there's just a lot of things to work out if that's going to be a direction that we take. So again, your guys' input might change it. I would have to say though, members and Patreon people, they get to sway me just a little bit more than anybody else. You know what I mean? They're already committed to the channel in a way like no other. if they say, hey, let's do a thing, yeah, I'm probably going to listen to them just a little bit more. Um, so yeah, next year going to be a lot of kind of the same stuff. A lot of trying to try out new patterns, a lot of trying to make them my own, a lot of trying to work from photos. I still have a bunch of photos that were saved from years ago to go through and work out those. I mean, those could be a lot of fun as well. Um, I'll be trying to do want patterns from stuff that people submit. Like if you guys have like a photo and you're like, hey, I'm not sure about this, I'm going to try doing those ones as well. So yeah, just a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. So yeah, so this is so you see like the spiral that's at the top of this and the spiral that's below it, they're both kind of going off to the one side. So they're kind of it's like a mirror in between it, right? And that's where I'm thinking this might have been a little bit more fun if it had flipped the other way. That's the part that kind of has my brain kind of itching to try it. I'm not, like I said, I could just do a quick Photoshop, take a photo, flip, cut it half, flip it, and see it. But what's the fun in that? I mean, you know, yeah. And this will also give me a chance to work on this in some other colors. Honestly, this would look good in any two contrasting colors you have, right? So go crazy with this one. Absolutely. It's it's cute. It is really, really cute. It kind of, when you look at it, it's sort of like, especially when you just focus on that middle part, it reminds me in the cartoons when somebody's gotten a knock to their head and their eyes start to go, swirly or something, or some kind of like a hypno mask or a bug's eye kind of thing. There's something, I think that kind of disappears when you flip it the other way. So, in some aspects, this might be the cool one. However, I don't know. Again, it's going to be a try it and see. I'm kind of picturing in my head, like as I'm thinking, like, what colors would I'm kind of thinking like a dark blue and white would be a really, really fun combination. Um, ooh, I could go kind of Singaporean, like our Singapore flag, and just do a red and a white. That would also be really nice. Um, Another good possibility for something like this would be if you had one of the colors variegated. So let's say you have a variegation that's like a red that fades to a white. The last thing you want to do is use a white as the opposing color because wherever it fades, it's going to be confusing. You're not going to see the pattern. You're going to want something that contrasts both the red and the white. So you go with something dark, maybe you go with a black, maybe you go with whatever, but it's got to be contrasting to those and let the variegated part just kind of go and do its thing in between. And when you get to places where you make the choice, you kind of have to make the choice of trying to not interrupt a nice fading flow and try to keep it, you know, an example. Okay, there's little spots on the edge, right, where you see like the pink did the three knots. You might have to do a zigzag knot if it was going to be two reds and one white, like no fade, no anything. It's just a stark contrast. Change its direction so that way you keep it. The red is all that's in the side, or the white, whichever. So that would give it a really intense look. It would be a really fun way of doing this pattern. Maybe I think I might have some variegated floss, so maybe that's what I do. You know, we haven't done a whole lot of that in any of the tutorials, so that might be a thing. So yeah, we are super close to the end here, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for being around this whole year. I will see you next year. Well, I'll see you tomorrow for the live stream. And yeah, as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.